everybody, it's Jennifer. Welcome back for another top producer interview. And I'm really excited to talk with somebody who is, killing it, not very far into being in real estate. So I can't wait to pick your brain today. I want to welcome Bethany McDaniel from our Woodlands Research Office. Hi, Bethany.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us. And so we were kind of chatting right before, but I was saying, like last week we had on the Lauer Stanford team, and they're amazing and they're awesome, but they've been doing this for 16 years. And so it's like they have this really deep pool of past clients, to get referrals from. And I know when you're newer to the business, when you hear people that have been doing it for that long and like what they can do, sometimes it can almost seem unattainable because it's like so far away from where you are. So I wanted to chat with you today because you've only been in the business like 18 months, are seeing some success. And so I want to kind of talk about, getting your career off to like a quick start whenever you get into real estate. So what did you do before you were a realtor?
Well, I was a teacher for 11 years.
I was too.
Oh, were you? I didn't know that about you.
Realtors, yeah.
Yeah. And then I was a stay-at-home mom for 3 years. So
I did that too.
Yeah, so I was at home with my babies for about 3 years, and then I just jumped in head first.
You were ready to get back to it. Well, I still remember this when I went through Fast Start, like when you're like brand new, you're going through your classes at corporate. Mm-hmm. He made everybody say what they did before, and I said I was a teacher, and he said teachers make great realtors, because you're used to taking something complicated, breaking it down into something very simple and helping people through something. So I think it's true. I think that teachers do make really good realtors.
I've heard that a lot.
And you probably have used it. What grade did you teach?
Kindergarten, first, third, fifth, eighth, and was certified all through high school. So a little bit.
Oh my gosh, you did all of it then. Well, I taught middle school. And so I always say like I work with middle schoolers. Now I work with adults who sometimes act like middle schoolers, while they're going through this process. So, okay, awesome. So you got into real estate. What do you think, like what kind of helped you get going, early on? Because you don't have like, maybe you have a big sphere. Like when I started, they didn't have a big sphere, you don't have like all these past clients to like get referrals from. So what helped you get going as a new agent?
Well, I think the sphere that I did have was primarily from my work as a teacher. And so, all those people knew me as a teacher, and then I was known as a mom. So it's not that I didn't know people. It's that I had to completely rebrand myself. So I think that was really important for me to devote hardcore to that rebranding. But I would say if I could boil it down to one single solitary factor that's given me success, it's 100% mindset. Because this business is about hustle, and a lot of hustle before you see any fruit.
Yeah.
So it's really important to just keep a handle on that. And that's been able to propel me and keep me going when I wasn't necessarily seeing something immediately.
I totally agree. I think you have to have a long-term mindset, because if you're thinking you're going to get in the business and like start making money really quick, that usually isn't how it happens. But it's all that work you do in the beginning that like lays, I promise your third, fourth, fifth year in the business is so much easier than your first and second. Yeah, because you're doing so much work. It's like I always use the analogy, it's like a train. Like to get a train going, it's like super slow, but once it's like cranking along, it's so much easier. Did you have, because a lot of people have gotten into this business and there are people that know them from their previous job or wherever, know that they're newer to the business. And so they struggle with the fact that their own friends won't use them because they know that they're a brand new agent. Did you encounter any of that?
No one's told me that. That might have been knowing, but I've had some of my friends that have and are using me. And so again, I think it just comes back to that rebranding issue. I've made it my point to capitalize on social media because it's free.
Yes.
As a new agent, and you hit a really large audience. And so there's been lots of opportunity for me to prove my worth because, fake it till you make it. They believe what I'm doing. And so it's just solidified a sense of confidence, I think, from the people who knew me.
Yeah. So I love that you brought up social media, because I think that's a great way for new agents, like you just said, to not spend a dime and yet really kind of start to build credibility with people, you know, as a realtor. So what do you try? Is there anything specific you try to do when it comes to social media? Like, do you try to do a certain number of work posts a week? Do you try to post consistently? Like, what's your strategy?
I do try to post consistently, but that is an area that I'd like to work on in terms of having a more systematic approach to it. I'm just on it all the time, and every time I see an opportunity to share something, I do. So sometimes that might be, well, every time I do an open house, I do like a little live walkthrough of the house, and I find that people all over my sphere that aren't even in the Houston area, they engage with that and they love seeing it because we're all nosy and we like HGTV, and it's my little version of that. I'll do a lot of polls too in my stories on Instagram and on Facebook. Just, you know, home trends. Do you like this kind of tile or that kind of tile? This exterior, that kind of thing. And people like that too. So I don't know. There's not really. It's sort of an art, and it springs on you when you get fired. But just, I look for opportunities to see chances to do that.
Well, and that's good, because I think the two things when I see agents with social media who struggle, it's one, they have like a fear of self-promotion, you know, so they don't want to come across as like salesy or anything. And then two is they say, I don't know what to post. So like literally just content. And so just what you're saying, just sharing what you're doing, like the people are interested in our job. Like we don't have boring jobs. People want to see like the behind the scenes, if you're inside a house, like, you know, doing a little video of it. So I think that's the two things people struggle with. But if you can get past that, it's a great way to reach your sphere consistently without spending a dime on mailers or anything like that. So what do you think the hardest part of being a new agent is?
Feeling confident that I actually know what needs to be done, because people ask you a million questions and you never want to say, I don't know. But when you're starting out, 99% of the things you don't know. So just pushing through that and putting on the, oh, sure. I'm pretty sure, but I'm going to confirm that and get back to you.
Yeah.
No idea. I'm going to call my broker.
Yeah. Inside you're thinking like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've heard a lot of agents say that, just that fear of, if you can just project confidence, like people will just assume that you know what you're doing. They don't know that you've only been doing it 6 months and have no idea what the answer is. Where is most of your business come from?
Oh, it hasn't been one consistent place. I have some from my sphere, some from open houses, some from just like random chance meetings, like literally walking down the street and meeting someone who needs a house.
Really?
Well, I have a neighbor that had their house for sale for like, I'm not kidding, like 2.5 years. And so people would drive by and look at the house, and I'd be in the front yard and like workout clothes with my kids, and I'd run and flag them down and say, oh, hi, do you need some help? And I picked up several clients that way.
Really?
So yeah.
Good for you for not being afraid.
Oh man, it was a little embarrassing, but I made up for it by dressing appropriately next time I saw them.
Yes. There you go. And you know, you mentioned open houses. There's not a single top producer I have interviewed that hasn't said they've gotten business from open houses. And to me, that's something else that's free. I'm like, if you're brand new, you have no money to spend on like, you know, marketing or leads or anything. Social media and open houses are completely free ways. And I know I was interviewing Lauren Ashley from the Champions office. She was pointing out, people think that your open houses are your listings. Like they don't know the difference. So they're like, oh, you look like you're killing it. She's like, I didn't have anything under contract. I was just holding other people's open houses. They don't know. So, and I think most people when they're new, it's going to be like that, you know, like it's going to come from different places, just wherever you can find it, you know, just having that hustle mentality. What advice would you have for new agents?
Go to the office and make friends with people who know what they're doing.
Oh my gosh, we hear this all the time too. Everybody says the same thing. Yeah.
Because I have gotten some referrals and some leads from other people in my office because I'm there all the time. And I make it a point to handle my business with them in a way that they would also have confidence in me.
Yeah.
And I think that's important because you have to remember, those people who are really, really busy ultimately get to a point where they can't handle everything, and they get to a point where like, I don't care. I don't want to deal with this. Do you want to take it? Yes, I'm starving. I will take it.
Yes,
you know, and you want to be the person that they think of when that happens.
Yeah. There's so many brokerage models out there right now that don't have offices. And I get it. We can do everything from our house, but I really think there's such a benefit to going to a place, you know, where you are surrounded by professionals in your industry, people who have been doing it longer than you, you know, who are selling more than you, and you can learn just from being in the office. I would just eavesdrop on like what they were saying on the phone to their clients, and I'd be like, I'd take like a note. I'd be like, "Ooh, that was good." Like I'm gonna say that the next time I talk to somebody. So I think that's a big thing. Let's see. So you started 18 months. How long did it take you to get kind of some production going?
I closed on my first sale in, I think, 4 months. And that was a client I picked up from an open house. So I was pleased with that. And then I think I didn't have my second sale until December. So that was about 9 months in. I mean, I had some leases sprinkled in here and there, but.
Well, I think that's important to point out to newer agents is it's going to take a while before you have like consistent income coming in. And I see so many people, they get in and they're not financially prepared for that, you know? And so when 6 months go by and they've only had like one sale or something, they have to get out of business and go do something else. And so I think it's good for people to know, like you're saying, you're coming up on 2 years here soon. Like your business is going to get more and more consistent as you continue to grow, continue to build. But that first year, I sold my first like 18 months, I sold 4 houses. That was it. You know, I mean, we were teachers. I made way less than I made as a teacher. Like, you know, that's not very much. But sticking with it, you know, then by the 3rd year, like I doubled that. And then, you know, the 4th year, I doubled that, you know, and it can escalate really quickly. But I think a lot of people don't have that mindset coming in. Like you said, that long-term mindset. Do you see that with other agents around you?
Yeah, well, I've said before, you know, when you read, like, go to Google about getting into real estate, they'll say you need at least 6 months income saved up. No, you don't. You need like 2 years.
Well, yeah.
Because you might get a paycheck after 6 months, but it's not going to be enough to keep you afloat. Right. So, and then you need to reinvest some of that in your business. So, yeah, have a good support system, be financially secure, and be willing to hustle and be patient.
What have you spent money on?
A few mailers. I haven't been as consistent with that just because I've tried to utilize avenues like we talked about for social media starting out. Yeah. But I've also done some pop buys, like because my old sphere was a lot of teachers, I do like a back to school goodie bag, if you will, that I know. To just kind of bring value and let them know that I love it. And if you're not working with me, this is just to have a good school year kind of thing. And so that was kind of expensive for me to do, but it's already brought me business. So worth it.
That is, yeah. I think wherever almost everybody, unless you come like straight out of college into this job, everybody did something else before. And those people can be a great source of business for you going forward if you just stay in touch with them, which a lot of people don't do. Yeah, so good. Any other like advice you would give to new agents or things that you've done wrong that you would do differently? Anything before we let you go today?
Well, I'll just share something that my broker Lindsay shared with me a long time ago, and it was this chart talking about the power of the follow-up. And I don't have it memorized in my mind, but there's like a breakdown of the percentage of agents that follow up 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 5 times. And it's like 5% of agents follow up 5 times or more. But that the number of sales that happen on the 1st, 3rd, and 5th follow-up, I mean, all the money is in that consistent, repeated follow-up, which is really hard when you're not getting responses and you don't know if it's falling on deaf ears or not, but that's where the money is. So I would just encourage people starting out to know that and don't be beaten down by it.
I bet I could get Lindsay to send me over that slide so we can share it with everybody. But I think that's really true. Have you gotten told no a lot? Like, has been getting past rejection been an issue?
I've never been told no. I've been ghosted.
Yeah.
But there's been times that I've sent follow-ups and I thought they fell on deaf ears. And then I received referrals from that client and later follow-up from them saying, oh yeah, here's why we decided to use you, which by the way, twice, the reason why someone has told me that they chose to use me is because after our initial meeting or our initial conversation, I sent them a handwritten note in the mail.
Really?
And that made such an impact on them that that was the solitary reason why they said they wanted to do business with me.
Wow, smart. And again, something that like cost almost nothing.
Yeah.
Doesn't cost a ton of money.
But nobody does it anymore.
Yeah.
Very few people.
Very few people. I know, I get so excited if I get something in the mail.
It's not mail.
I know, it's like real mail. I'm so excited. And brought up too, like, I know when I talk with new agents, I try to explain to them that like being ghosted or like people not responding to you, like that's not a no. That's not a stop contacting me. That's not a go away. That's just, you have no idea what's going on in their life. And until they are ready, you know, like they're not going to pick up the phone or respond to your text. But then the day they're ready, like, you know, if you're the one that has done that more than 3 or 4 follow-ups or written them a handwritten note, like you're the one that they're going to call. So.
And you better be ready when they call.
Exactly. Well, awesome.
So they'll go to the next one.
Well, Lindsay says great things about you. Talks about what a little rising star you are, and it sounds like you're doing all the right things. So thank you for sharing today. I'm sure our other newer agents are going to be happy to listen to this, and we will see you soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye.